Next up in the inspiration section, ESA Lab at CH IGLUNA Space Habitat with remote operations. Here to talk to you about it, Tatiana Benavides, IGLUNA.
Hi, and welcome to the presentation of IGLUNA ESA Lab at CH. I'm Tatiana Benavides. Thank you, Łukasz, for the introduction. I'm the project manager of IGLUNA and I work at Space Innovation. So I'd like to start with a few words about space innovation. We are a center in Switzerland, and our mission is to strengthen Switzerland's space capabilities and involve players in space innovation, not only in Switzerland, but also internationally. We want to enable space technologies and contribute to sustainable development, so not only for space, but also for Earth. And we have a solid national and international recognition and network with access to cutting edge technologies. We have members all around Switzerland and we help them with their goals, and we also establish projects with partners. So this is our network of members here in Switzerland. You can see the little dots all around, and we have two white dots, which are EPFL, that's the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne, and then the other one is in Zurich. And that's where our offices are. But of course, we are nationally with all our members available, connecting them also internationally. So people doing something related to space, becoming from industry, from academia, or research organizations, they're part of our members. And one of the projects we do, we have many activities at Space Innovation, but what I'm going to talk about today, it's about IGLUNA. It's part of the ESA Lab initiative, so with the European Space Agency, and it has been powered by the Swiss Space Office here in Switzerland. And the focus on the target is to engage students to showcase innovative technologies. We focus on the topic of sustaining life in an extreme environment. This is, of course, for the future of space exploration, like we want to go to the moon and Mars, but it is also good for here for Earth. We use space as an inspiration, so it's something on space we have limited resources, so it's something we want also to have here on Earth, this type of mentality, so we can reuse, recycle, reduce what we consume. So that's how we also go into the sustainability aspect. And we also like to educate and train the next generation of space experts by inspiring them, by training them about systems engineering, about how space projects work, and connecting them, also expanding their network and their career opportunities. And it's a very interdisciplinary project. So we have students joining from engineering backgrounds, from scientific backgrounds as well, but also life support and design projects. It's bottom up, so it's whatever students want to create, as long as it fits this main topic of sustaining life in an extreme environment. It's welcome, and we also focus on technology transfer, so that's transferring the academic research to commercial applications. And so far, we had 3 IGLUNA editions. More than 500 students have joined, and they come from more than 20 universities across the world. So in the next slide, you will see what's IGLUNA in a nutshell. I went a bit too fast. There I go. And what it is, it's a platform for students to develop space technologies and increase their readiness level while learning about space project management. Why are we doing this? Well, we want to boost space exploration. Of course, we're passionate about space, and we believe we should be doing more for space. And how do we do it? We build collaborations between universities, industry, research organizations, and space agencies. So we have an expert board to support the student teams, and we follow them through an academic year. We have so far 3 IGLUNA editions, like you can see the patches here on the screen. And where do we do it? It's locally, the teams are working on their own university, supervised by their professor. But in Switzerland, we are coaching them, we're following them throughout the year, and then we organize different events, like you will see in the next few slides. We have kickoff, we have midterm, and we have a field campaign specialist. So that's to conclude a test bed, to conclude their projects, where they can come to Switzerland and do their tests, their experiments, show their functional prototypes, and also showcase what they have developed. So why IGLUNA? Why this topic? What does it mean? So IGLUNA is like a lunar igloo. And it goes in vision with the Moon Village concept that was developed by the former Director General at ESA. It takes a village to do a village at the moon. So very interdisciplinary, international collaboration, and that's why we thought of this topic like a space habitat, because we have, of course, the architects doing conception and structure. So that's how to construct the habitat. But we also have biologists, agronomists taking care of life support systems. So that's the food we need and the waste and the oxygen, also taking care of these circular loops. We have lots of engineering students doing power management, communication, and navigation. So they come from computer sciences. They come, for instance, now machine learning, artificial intelligence, but also more engineering like electronical engineering, mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, for instance. And then we have the aspect of human well-being. So this is also something more psychological aspect to ensure that astronauts are not only living on space, but are also happy in there. So this is also designers taking part of this aspect. And of course, radiation monitoring. If we go to space habitability and, for instance, science, there's experiments going on about geology, astrobiology. So you can see it's a very complete topic. And that's why we chose this. So we include more student teams coming and doing whatever they're doing, and they can join if they fit under these topics. So this is how we run. It's an academic year from September to July, and we start in September with a kickoff event. Then in March we have a midterm event. Usually we try to do them in Switzerland, like a workshop, 3 days, 4 days, something like that. Lately, because of COVID, they have been remotely in the last in the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. So that's how we're doing it. But the field campaign, it's something that we try to do also here in Switzerland. You'll see from the 3 editions, the first one was here present, the second was virtual, and the third one, we had a hybrid, so a little bit of both. And then we have these milestones called preliminary design review, critical design review, and readiness review. These are reviews used for systems engineering best practices, so how space projects are run, and this is how we evaluate the student projects, and we also help them to improve them so they can reach successfully their goal in the field campaign. And with this, we invite an expert board. So depending on the expertise of the student team and the expert, we put them together so they can give them feedback and inputs and help them improve their projects. So with the first edition we had was IGLUNA 2018-2019. We started in September 2018, finishing July 2019, and the topic was a habitat in ice. So our idea here was to do the habitat like it would be in the moon inside of the craters, that there is an evidence that potentially there could be enough water there of ice to make a habitat inside of the craters to be protected from the meteorites, also the radiation, and have a more constant temperature. So this first edition of IGLUNA was a demonstrator project to see how this ESA Lab initiative could work, establishing this platform of universities, linking them to industry and research organizations. And we collected lots of lessons learned. So the idea is to be improving every year and learning a lot from this, and also sharing our expertise with everyone else, and to engage students. Actually, not only are Europe, we also have students joining from USA, from Canada. So it's really now an international effort. As it was a habitat in ice, we are lucky here in Switzerland. We still have glaciers, at least some of them, that have ice in summer. So we went in Zermatt to the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise inside a glacier cave. And that's the highest cable car in Europe at almost 4,000 meters. So it's a bit of extreme conditions there for students to work because you have less oxygen. You have to really pace yourself. You get tired. It's also cold. It's -4 degrees. So the technologies they develop, they have to be fitting these requirements, as well as the humidity. It's high humidity in there. So they have to be working under these conditions, testing their technologies. And we also had downtown at the Backstage Hotel Vernissage an art gallery. So we had their exhibition there where students decorated it and showed their concepts also about living on the moon. And this was in downtown Zermatt, also to increase the outreach with the general public. And here's some pictures how it looked like. So you can see here we have our guest. We had MIT coming from the USA and doing the drill you see on the right, and on the left you see CERN doing an experiment about radiation. So our theory was that this big layer of ice, so we were minus 15 meters covered inside the cave, 15 meters of ice was protecting the cave that you will see in the next picture. And we thought, okay, this should be enough to protect from radiations. And they were checking that for us. And they did see that the layer of ice protected from radiation. This is how it looked inside. So under 15 meters of ice, the students created this habitat. They built it themselves. And the condition for them was to keep the plants warm because it was very cold there. So the plants inside had to be at 25 degrees so they would grow. You can see here it was the architect students doing the structure. Then we had an interdisciplinary team doing this robotic greenhouse. We had experiments also inside, but also on the side of the habitat there. And we also had downtown. This is more or less how the exhibition looked like in the art gallery. Concepts about human well-being, about how the habitat would look on the moon. So it was really nice to see. And we had, of course, very important guests visiting us. This is the former Director General Jan Werner from ESA, the European Space Agency. We had Swiss Space Office representatives from the Swiss government. We had general public, of course. We had journalists coming, school tours, so younger generation being inspired by these projects. We had as well industry tours, so connecting the students with the industry. And we were very happy that we had astronauts joining as well. This was 2019, so it was the 50th anniversary of the moon landing of Apollo, the first moon landing there with Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. So there was lots of event going on, and there was one event called Starmus in Zurich happening at the same time, and they let us, the astronauts, to visit us and discover the student project. So this was really a nice experience, welcoming the astronauts there, including our Swiss astronaut Claude Nicollier. And these were our partners and sponsors. We're very thankful to them for making this possible. The universities that participated, you can see here, they were coming from different countries, and as well all our local partners here in Switzerland. So we got very positive feedback to move forward, and then we did a second edition of IGLUNA. This time we put the level of the challenge up. So it was not anymore focused on an ice habitat, but we focus now on remote operations, because we figured that would be the first moon missions. They would be sending robots as they're doing now, but they're controlled from here, from Earth, from control centers here. So we wanted to teach students that how to develop a technology that you are not there to control, but you control it from another place and you monitor it from far away. So this was based on the ESA Lab initiative, building up on our lessons learned from the previous IGLUNA, and still developing these bottom-up ideas into technologies. And the concept we had the second time was to go to Lucerne. We have the Mount Pilatus there, and we have the Verkehrshaus, which is the Swiss Museum of Transportation. That's the most visited museum in Switzerland. It's really nice. If you get a chance to be around in Lucerne, and please go visit it. It has different exhibitions about space, of course, but also trains, boats, and different sorts of transportation. So the idea of this field campaign was to place the student projects on top of Mount Pilatus, so that would be the test bed, but then operate them from the museum. So across, you can see the two dots in the picture there on the top, the two red dots across the lake on the other side of Lucerne. There would have been the control room and an exhibition, of course, for the general public. You know, IGLUNA the year 2020, there was COVID, of course. Last summer, we were not allowed to do many events. So we updated it and did a virtual campaign. It's all available in our YouTube channel. It was running from these almost 2 weeks in July. And the student projects did shows. We had space expert presentations, something similar as you're watching now with this ERC, also hybrid campaign. And the students also had bilateral talks with experts. In total, we had 25 live events. And of course, you can look them up. They're still available. If you look for space innovation in YouTube, you find our channel and you can rewatch them all if you're interested. This is just to give you a peek how it looked like. So this was the habitat construction team and how they developed their concept. So they show that. This was a team Celestial, also from Germany, and they went to their partner PTS to test their communication that they developed with their antenna. And these were some of our special guests. Alexander Gerst is astronaut. We had the former Director General Jan Werner. We had industry, Astrocast, also iSpace, giving presentations and interacting there with students and also the public. We're very thankful for everyone who joined and also everyone who participated from the universities you see here who was involved, and also, of course, our partners that made this possible. So now for the last edition we had of IGLUNA, concluding now this last July. Also, we kept the topic of space habitat with remote operations. We really aim now to really be in Lucerne as it was originally planned, but to put the level of the challenge up, now we figured we should include potential commercial applications for Earth and for space. So this year we taught students about business models and how they could commercialize their research and their technologies. And this is how I explained, and now with a different map, because we had the top of Mount Pilatus there on the top, but also at Kinsereg, a lower station, there was a test bed. And then at the Verkehrshaus, the Swiss Museum of Transport, it was where we had our exhibition and control room. So we were very happy this year. We had a hybrid campaign. Some student teams came to Lucerne, but still we had some restrictions. So some of them stayed home. And then we had everything in our YouTube channel. So you can see here, this is in the museum. There was the exhibition. In the bottom, you can see part of the control room with a computer there, some tables we had and monitors. And of course, we broadcasted all our ceremonies for the general public, but also for the students that could not be on site. We had project shows, and we had also the live demonstrations there on top of Mount Pilatus. This is on the top, where we had the tent with some student projects, like you can see here, the robotic greenhouse, and the rover also sintering sand, as it would be on the moon with the moon regolith. We had also important guests. Here you see in the center, if you can find him, is Thomas Reiter is an astronaut as well. And we had other ESA representatives joining, also from the Swiss government, and also general public, industry tours, media tours, and everyone who was there. We were very happy to welcome them. And well, if you want to learn more about the student teams, here you can see their universities. And we will have in 2 weeks, on Thursday, September 23rd, we will have a webinar from 3 to 4 p.m. Central European time. And you can join. It's open to everyone. The students will be pitching their projects, and then we will have a Q&A session at the end. So you can interact with them, ask them questions, and find out more about their projects. So you can join us. You can see also in our website, we have more information. We'll post there also the link to connect soon. And we will be putting now in the YouTube chat this information for you to have it there. And please join us. Don't forget, Thursday, September 23rd from 3 to 4 p.m. Central European time. And taking the opportunity, I would like to thank once again our partners and sponsors, and now leave you with what's going to happen next. So with IGLUNA, we of course try to push the student technology so that they can land on the moon and maybe further away in Mars. And that's what we want to keep doing. But at the moment, we are lacking funding for future IGLUNA editions. So we are open to explore together. If you have any ideas, any inputs on how we can work together, please contact us. Here is our email address, our website. And yes, we will be happy if you would contact us. And thank you very much, and see you next time.